Water is life! Woo! Groundwater, making the invisible visible. Hello viewers, you are welcome again to my channel. Should in case you are new to this channel, I am fatantoh. I'm a grassroots environmental activist. I'm a farmer, and today we are here in Bamenda Up Station. You know, we are in the peak of dry season, and water crisis is the order of the day. You know, because of climate change, because of effects of human activities on environment, most of the water catchments are drying because a lot of trees have been cut down, the streams are drying. But then, do you know that we can access water underground? Despite the water scarcity, water is still running underground in the aquifer. And one of the amazing techniques that we can use to track where water is running underground is by using two iron rods. This is an indigenous technology. You know, I was trained in this technology by the Native Americans in Wisconsin, the Oneida tribe, when I was studying in the US. They trained me how to use two iron rods to track water underground. So today we are in a property here in Bamenda Up Station, you know, to dig a well. You know, we did the tracking already. The first well was not properly dug and the water always dry up, but now we have to use this rod to track where water is running under. You know, access to safe drinking water is a universal human right. Everybody needs water, whether being human beings, being animals, being plants, everybody needs water. There are more than 2 billion people in the world that do not have access to safe drinking water. And as an Ashoka Fellow working on water conservation, I was recently elected Making More Help Fellow in Germany. And my role as a Making More Help Fellow is to scale up water conservation across Cameroon and in other parts of Africa, especially in Kenya. So today we are going to meet with some of my technicians, the guys who are specialists in digging wells. You know, I don't get into the well, but these guys are specialists. We're going to meet them and they're going to share us their experience, how they have been working, you know, to dig these wells and install rings and make this water accessible. You know, the theme of World Water Day, March 2022 was groundwater making the invisible visible. So I'm going to show you how this technology works. This is just two 6mm rods, you know. Once you hold the rods like this, as you are walking in the yard, you see the rods come together. It opens. So where the rod crosses, we marked at the point. This is where water runs underground. And here we're able to dig the new well of this property just around this area that the water runs underground. So this is an amazing indigenous knowledge. Even if the water is 100 meters deep, these two iron rods is going to dictate where water runs underground. This is something that you can never study even if you are in the university. You can get to PhD, but if you don't master it practically, you can never understand how it works. You know, water is very sacred. And when you are working with water, you need to have a free spirit. So in this property, this is where the previous well was dug by amateurs. You know, they never tracked where the water is running underground. And at the peak of dry season, the water dries up because it is not the aquifer zone. You know, they didn't get to the aquifer zone where water runs underground. That is why we had to change this spot, you know, and we track where water is running underground to be able to dig the new well. Hello viewers, I am here with one of my main technicians. You know, this is the expert. This is the guy who gets into the aquifer. You know, I'm an expert in water conservation, springs water catchment, how to harness water from the rain, how to do recharge facilities. But when it comes to well digging, this is the man. Good to see you, bro.
Thank you so much.
So how you doing?
I'm good, sir. I'm good.
Okay. So what is your name and where do you come from?
I'm Neba Brandy. I'm from Transportation.
Okay. Yeah, I know we met the first time 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and we've been doing a lot of projects together. But before meeting you, for how long have you been doing water projects? How did you start doing well projects?
I started down in the village there when I used to go to the water catchment with my dad and some other elderly people to plant trees
Okay.
that can provide water for the community. Then at times I used to go to the nearby streams with my dad to just arrange how the old parents back then in the village can have access to clean water.
Okay.
So that is where I started and it gave me that idea. I've been doing a lot of other technician fields, I've been doing industrial welding,
Okay.
iron bending, but by the end of the day, I decided to come to do water projects because by the end of the day, it's just a problem for people to have good the source of water.
Yes.
So I've traveled to other places. I felt sick because I could not find good water even to bathe.
Yeah.
So by the end of the day, I took it on my mind that I decided I want to be doing water projects because I've seen many people and many people are dying because of lack of good water.
Wow.
So that is why I decided to do this job.
Wow. So, Brandy, how many wells have you dug? Before I met you, how many wells have you dug?
Because later on I left this job, I went back to school for a while, but I can say 35, 40 wells, but not only in the Northwest region here.
Okay.
So we have worked at the Littoral region, in many places, the Central region,
Yeah.
and the West region,
Yeah.
and including this Northwest region, which is my town. So we have been working in and around the country.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. So now, during the digging process, there is always a stage where we have to put the rings. That is the most caring part.
Yeah. Yes.
Using indigenous knowledge and other light to put in these rings. That when these rings are getting inside, when you get right deep, are you always like scared that the walls might collapse? What precautions do you take? Because I see you don't have any machines, any cranes to put down the rings.
Yeah, with that, I would love because we are lacking those machines. We lack those kind of apparatus that can access us to send out those rings. But we use the common man way.
Okay.
Yeah, but when we are sending down those rings, it's a risk. It's risk because by the end of the day, all jobs have their risks.
Yeah.
But this one is, I think, it's more than some other risks in other fields.
Yeah.
But we don't have any choice. You just have
Okay.
to love what you're doing. Just hustle and pray. Yes, you just pray that the Lord Almighty should just guide us.
You know what?
You know, so,
Water is very sacred. I've worked with water, and when you have a free spirit, I think God is guiding you as well because you are providing this water for humanity. Now, at some point, you always put sand, sea sand. Why the choice of sea sand, and why do you put sea sand? Why not any ordinary sand?
yeah, why we choose to use the sea sand is because the sea sand it does not have clear like this other normal sand.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you put the sea sand, it helps to filter the water
Okay.
before it gets to the reservoir.
Okay.
And then by the end of the day, it helps also to prevent spirogyros.
Okay.
Because when you do concrete rings, when they are attached they are attached to the earth directly,
Yeah.
it causes the reservoir to have spirogyros.
Oh, yeah,
So
exactly.
with that sand, it prevents spirogyros. Then it filters the water, and then by the end of the day, it makes the water to become cool and fresh.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, Brandy, I recently told you I was elected Making More Health Fellow in Germany. It's sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. So I'm a Making More Health Fellow because I work on water issues. And my role now is to scale up water conservation, not only in Cameroon, but in other parts of Africa. I was recently in Kenya where I trained the communities there on how to access water underground, how to track water, how to conserve water catchments, how to do rainwater harvesting, to dig recharge facilities, to send water underground to recharge the aquifer. But now, I noticed that in Kenya, they do wells, they dig wells like what we're doing, but they don't put rings. And that is something that is lacking there. So if you are given the opportunity, let's say, to travel to Kenya, for example, and transmit this technology on how to build rings and put in the world. So will you be excited to to go to that kind of venture?
Yeah, it'll be a pleasure because by the end of the day, my dream is that each and everyone should have access to clean water.
Okay.
And by the end of the day, it's good to train more youth because I'm working today because I'm still stronger. Maybe by tomorrow, the power in which I have maybe will not support me to do this kind of job again. So it will be a pleasure to train more youth.
Yeah.
Not only in Kenya, not only in Cameroon, but Africa at large, because we like the head of states in Africa, the African head of states, the governors, the mayors, right down to the councillors. They need to put this in mind that water is life. Let them see how they can do to give water to their communities, clean water to their communities, because clean water is health. That's
right.
Yeah.
For all this time that you have been doing well projects and we have been working together, what are the difficulties have you been facing?
The difficulties we are just inadequate to machines that can help access these projects go more faster than how we do it manually. And then more difficulties are like some clients. They are always very, very nagging. So by the end of the day, somebody looks at you to be very stupid, but of which I know each and every human being needs water. So, but some clients at times they used to look at us to be very useless people, or people that they don't even really matter in the society, because at times people throw insults. That look at the kind of job you are doing, but by the end of the day, I don't have any problem. I'm satisfied. I'm happy with the job I'm doing. Then by the end of the day, some clients they become very the type that they don't want to understand with us. Some like to praise you. Some always like to exploit. That they don't even see the use of water, but by the end of the day, they need water to use.
They need water.
Yeah. So by the end of the day, at times when I go home, at times I just feel a type like to stop it. But something keeps telling me that I should just continue what I'm doing. One day something will come up for me.
Especially when we met, so because it's a movement we are carrying, and we want to ensure that no one should be left behind. Everybody must have access to safe drinking water. So a part of the indigenous technology that we use to track water using the 2 iron rings, do you think you might need a better equipment to improve on that?
Yeah, things like water detectors, so that you can know where there are rocks. Things like apparatus like compressors, to access to rocks. So because in Cameroon here, many areas they are rocky areas. So something like compressor, one is needed, but it's very expensive. And then the water detector also we need it, but it's very expensive. But we are trying to see how God can bless one day we have it, so that we can help the community at large.
I think that's the main reason why we created this amazing platform, to showcase our abilities, because the world is watching at us, and I believe somebody somewhere is going to listen to us, and someday we'll have all this equipment to scale up, water projects, not only in Cameroon but in other parts of Africa. I think the time has come where we Africans, we need to start sharing our own stories. We need to tell the world what we are capable of doing, not only waiting for foreign expatriates, to come. And you are the main technician there in the field. We just need to harness all our talents together and see how we can make Africa great. Wow, thank you so much for coming to this platform. The sky is our limit, and we shall get there. Hello viewers, it was nice having Brandy on my channel. More than 2 billion people in the world do not have access to safe drinking water. Despite climate change that has affected the watersheds, the ecosystem, but there is still water running underground in the aquifer. And it is our goal to see that nobody should be left behind. We want to ensure that, we train communities, we want to ensure that so many youths should be involved. Every community should be involved so that we can make water accessible to everybody. If you are new to this channel, please do me a favor to subscribe and click the notification bell, and you won't miss any of our future videos. I am Farmer, no future. Water is life. Wow.
Water is life.
Water is life.